This video is a supercut of the MCC videos in VS Code focusing on the MPLAB Harmony content library. We'll give a very short overview of the highlights of each video, and welcome to the series to view these videos at a normal pace. Okay, so the first project is to create a 100 millisecond blinky, which we verify with the MPLAB.visualizer's new scope mode. From the kit window, we find a part number and then create a new MPLAB project. We create an MCC configuration with the simplest possible defaults. Here we demonstrate how to open the landing page for Harmony or to access the MPLAB Harmony GitHub. We show how one can find context help and set up a basic timer. Example code is copy-pasted into main. Pins are set up for the LED and debug IO. We build the code, run and debug, select our kit, and verify on the MPLAB.visualizer. The second video continues where the first one left off, adding a UART from a SIRCOM module, and we see the code snippets we'll use later. The kit window, we use the Explorer pinouts for all C nanos, finding our board, from here finding the SIRCOM number and pins. This allows us to add the right SIRCOM number and configure the pins appropriately. Then back to the context help, we find a low-level function to simply write to the UART. And this functionality is tested on the .visualizer. Standard IO is added to the project to easily support variables in our strings. We use the MPLAB AI coding assistant to modify the behavior of the code, adding a counter. We remove standard IO, showing how we can use the outline mode to see changing APIs becoming available, then verify the loopback functionality. In the first of 3 videos working with Discover projects, the video shows how we can take a part number, go to Discover, and find examples just for that very specific part. We find a Getting Started application which uses a number of peripherals. Importing is as simple as opening a folder. We are then prompted to import the project and to add the source files. We open MCC and get prompted to upgrade the project. Now we see that there are a number of YAML files in the project, which is the new MCC configuration format. The project functionality is verified with the MPLAB.visualizer. The next video on using Discover projects shows more of the different filtering options, specifically filtering on device families. This allows one to find more general projects and gradually narrow down to what is useful. Once a suitable project is found, in this case we see that there is no direct download link, but rather a link to the project's GitHub. We copy the link to clone the project. Starting a git bash terminal, we git clone with the project link. Downloading the project that we're specifically interested in, as well as all related projects for this particular board. We go into the project we want to import and show you the right way of importing, going into the .x folder. We get prompted to import a project as well as an external source folder. When we launch MCC, an mcc.vs code file is created. The MCC configuration happens to match the VS Code project name. Next, we import the project again, this time choosing the wrong folder level, where the .vs code folder ends up outside the .x folder. When you launch and open MCC, the name of the configuration doesn't necessarily match the name of the .x folder. And opening the project config and looking at the file set, one can see that when generating files, they don't know where to go. To recover from this, we use the MPLAB MCC configure associated project, first removing the configuration and then adding the MCC configuration associated with the VS Code project. So now when we generate, the files are added to the project configuration file set and a build is successful. This is advanced though, so rather just import at the right project level. In the next video, we show you how you can multiply the usefulness of MPLAB Discover projects by learning how to move them from one board to another. In this case, moving from a Curiosity Pro to a Curiosity Nano. First, we need to check the SERCOM. Next, the DAC out connection feeding into the ADC and an external interrupt. So we find the SERCOM number connected to the embedded debugger, connecting those pins and adding that SERCOM. Remove the connection from the standard I/O and connect it to the newly added SERCOM. Then configure the RX pin. Next, the DAC out is connected to the analog input. So we just use the same connections with a wire on our new board. Finally, we need to find the external interrupt connected to the switch on our board. So we look at the configuration of the previous external interrupt and repeat that, but now on external interrupt 15. Updating the code in main. Now running the code, verifying that the external interrupt works, then running and seeing how every time we push the button, we're getting a 100 millivolt change in the DAC. In this video, we see how we can set up two different MCC configurations with different pinouts to handle multiple boards. We start by creating a new standalone MCC configuration, giving it a name according to the first board we're going to support. Once MCC opens, we use the context help of the system to find the SysTick timer. We set this up for 100 milliseconds. For the PIC32CM, we find the LED and debug I/O and configure these pins. We use the SysTick example code, integrating this into main. Next, we create an MPLAB project and then opening the project.json. Now we'll rename default to something more descriptive. We connect the MPLAB project configuration to our MCC configuration. Generating code, we see that our files are added to the file set. But we rename the file set and toolchain to make sure we can follow what is happening. Pointing out the DFP, which will be important in the next video. We verify that the first configuration is working as expected. The second video on multiple configurations, we create an equivalent configuration on a different board and then create a second MPLAB project configuration to connect this to. We start by creating a new standalone MCC configuration, choosing a part number and saving it at our workspace level. This time configuring the SysTick for 200 milliseconds so we can tell the configurations apart. We open our project.json, open the GUI, duplicate an existing configuration, renaming all the key pieces like the file set, the toolchain and the ELF. Then selecting a new part number. To our second MCC configuration, we connect the MPLAB project configuration we just created. Now we remove the extra compiler directories and the file set so that we don't have duplication. Modifying our project.json triggers a build, which fails, but as we generate code, the files are replaced and the build passes. Now we copy the main from the one project to the other, run the project, and add the second board to the data visualizer, and we can see that basically we have 100 and 200 milliseconds of the two different project configs. So if we save the workspace, clicking on the workspace folder will open the project exactly as it was before. As an alternative view in VS Code, you can open the MPLAB project directory, which will then prompt you to open external sources. Starting where we left off in the last video, we show you how easy it is to refactor a multiple MCC configuration project into two separate MPLAB projects in VS Code, since in this use case it is a simpler, more straightforward approach. So we take our existing multiple MCC configurations project and recreate the MPLAB project part of this, then copy and paste the MCC configuration into the new project. Opening MCC, we attempt to generate code and demonstrate that the associated project is not open. finding proof of this in the mcc.vs code file. So we use the mcc configure associated project command to remove the connection to the previous project and add it back to this one, then generating code and demonstrating that this works correctly. So we close the project and start this process again, creating a new project, this time for the JH, and copying across the MCC configuration. Using MCC configure associated project, we remove the legacy connection and connect this MCC configuration to our new project. Opening MCC and generating code, we can verify that this works as expected. Lastly, we save the workspace and demonstrate how we can reopen it. We have now successfully refactored our project. In the multiple configuration videos for MCC Melody, we use a use case of different visualization or debug output using printf, data streamer, and DV runtime in 3 different MCC configurations. So that was a very quick overview. Welcome to the series to view these videos at a normal pace.